So the New Orleans Saints have been on quite the tear recently. I mean, they've been incredible these past 3 games or so. And, you know, the big headline after last week's win was Taysom Hill. But the real reason that they were so effective wasn't Taysom Hill. It's because of their defense. I mean, Hill was good. He was clearly the headline, but the defense has been outstanding. And honestly, I think the best part about this defense right now is their edge rushers. And so that's what I wanted to make a video about, because they have 3 really good edge rushers, which is just so good for a defense, because you know, you don't have to have guys out there the whole game getting tired. You can have a bit of a rotation, and you can still have that consistent pressure, and that's just nearly impossible to deal with if you're an offense. Let's start off with this play. We'll start off talking about Cam Jordan, because, I mean, let's be real. He's the headliner. He's, you know, the most, probably the biggest name in the Saints defense. He's an incredible player. On this play, you're going to see him make an incredible play. Jordan is actually lined up as a defensive tackle on this play. There's a linebacker on the right side of the screen, but he's going to drop back into coverage. They're actually in 3-4, so he's a defensive end, not a defensive tackle. But basically, they're scheming their way into Jordan having a double team, and they're okay with that. They're okay with Cameron Jordan taking on a double team. For one reason, it's going to just leave one-on-one matchups other places, because they're actually going to have, it's actually going to be a safety who's going to be blitzing here. So it's a 4-man rush. You have 3 defensive linemen, your 2 defensive ends, your defensive tackle, your nose tackle, and then a safety are going to be the 4 guys. But watch how Jordan, right when this play starts, so, you know, he sees that he has this double team, which I'm not sure if this is totally what he was expecting, because it does look like there is, you know, there's a nose tackle. Maybe the guard could have blocked him. So he knew it was a possibility, but now he realizes that there actually is going to be a double team here. And watch how he kind of has his left arm on the tackle's right wrist. I'm not even sure if that was entirely intentional, but he does get it on there. It's just sort of out of habit, and he's going to use that to his advantage. He swipes it away and is able to get to the outside of the tackle, and he's going to end up helping get a sack there, which is just incredible to think about when you consider the fact that he was double teamed, but he knew in that double team where he could still attack to potentially get some pressure, and he ends up helping a sack despite the fact that he was double teamed. So, you know, it's already great to have Cameron Jordan where he's going to take on double teams, but the reality is he can even get pressure and get sacks when you double team him, which is just, again, that's kind of a cheat code for a defense. I also love this next play where he's going up one-on-one against a right tackle right here, so that's the way this play is going to work. Nothing too fancy, but what's going to be really interesting here is just what happens once this ball is snapped. So once this play starts, looks like Jordan's trying to get his right arm right there, sort of on the left shoulder pad area. Almost looks like he's trying for a stab and grab move where you get that hand there. Jordan gets his left hand, grabs the tackle's right wrist, is able to twist it around and then get to the side that way. That's the idea, at least. But Stafford notices that really there's not really too great of a job by 93. It looks like there's actually supposed to be a twist, so there's sort of some room that Stafford can run. You know, you look, there's just a huge gap in between Jordan and the defensive tackle to Jordan's right. So you definitely, for Stafford, you'd think that you can run through there. But Jordan does such a good job of just keeping his eyes upfield, he notices as well that there is this gap here. So when Stafford tries to run through, Jordan's able to move around immediately and ends up getting a sack out of that. So again, that's not your typical sack, and definitely if you look at sacks, this hasn't been Jordan's best year, but a lot of that was because Davenport was hurt, and he just wasn't, he was getting a lot of double teams, and it seems like, you know, they've had several injuries to this defensive line, and now that they're healthy, you can't double team Jordan as much, and he's been able to thrive. He had 3 sacks against Atlanta, and, you know, again, we all know what he can do. He's an incredible player. But okay, enough about him. Let's talk about Trey Hendrickson, because man, did this guy come out of nowhere, basically. You know, he was a member of that insane draft New Orleans had 4 years ago. He only had 6.5 sacks prior to this season, but he's currently sitting at a league-leading 9.5 sacks. Incredible job by him, really, and he's been good this year. What's really impressive is, again, he leads the league in sacks, but he's done this with only 387 snaps. I mean, for comparison, Cameron Jordan has 532, so basically 150 more snaps. There's a lot of guys who have about that much more snaps, and yet he's still done an incredible job. So, again, Sacks can sometimes be misleading. You have a couple good games, and that can change the numbers. But he's been good. Like, take a look at this one. He's going to be going up one-on-one against a left tackle right here. That's the way this play works. And he's just going to use power. Watch how he runs right in, and he's just going to go for straight up bull rush right here. Gets his hands, basically just, he wants to get him kind of on his shoulder pads and just push forward. Looks like his right hand isn't even really in the placement that he wants, but that's okay. He's still going to be able to use his power here. Watch how he just overpowers him and is able to get a sack out of that. I mean, that's just a great play, and that's something you can pretty much always do. That's a consistent thing. That's not a luck thing. If you can do that once, you can do that a number of times. There was also this one for Hendrickson. He's going up one-on-one against Donovan Smith right here. And so, again, he likes to use his power. That's what he feels confident in, is just using power. And that's what he's going to try to do on this one as well. Brady takes the snap, and you look at Smith. Again, like, this isn't incredible hand placement by any means. I mean, this is fine hand placement for Hendrickson, but it's nothing spectacular. I mean, he gets his right arm on Smith's sort of left shoulder pad. That's really good. And he's just going to use his power. That's all he's trying to do here. He drives Smith back, then frees up his hand and knocks the ball out. Brady ended up recovering it right back, but still, incredible play. And yeah, all you need is a halfback to chip him, and it's going to be really difficult for him to do that. But at the same time, now you have to take a halfback to chip him. You can't chip Cameron Jordan or Marcus Davenport on the other side, so you don't really want to do that. And so that's partially how he's been able to lead the league in sacks. Again, pretty crazy. Also, I have to add, I said he leads the league in sacks. He does, but he's tied for the league lead. Myles Garrett also has 9.5. So just want to be clear about that. But yeah. And finally, let's talk about Marcus Davenport. People are never going to let the Saints forget they used 2 first-round picks essentially to select him. But at the end of the day, he's still very good. And this play is going to be a great example of that. It's actually going to be a twist. So what's going to happen is that basically, the center and the left guard for Carolina both have one-on-one matchups, since there is going to be a linebacker who's blitzing, and then they're simply just going to swing Davenport around to try to get in between them. And for Malcolm Jenkins, who's all the way on the right, he's also blitzing, which is going to take the tackle away. So now you're still going to have a halfback who's going to run over and try and block Davenport, but as I just said, a halfback is going to try and block Davenport. So this is not a good situation for Carolina. Davenport swings around. He's able to get through, make a quick tackle. I mean, that's just too easy of a situation for Davenport. But he still moves so fast. I mean, he's so athletic. I mean, every now and then you see a play like that, and you see why they were so high on him coming out of the draft. He's just a physical monster. And right now, I mean, you have Hendrickson. I mean, really, Hendrickson sort of coming out of nowhere to be as effective as he's been. It's just been such a blessing for New Orleans. And now they have 3 legit edge rushers. So for opposing teams, you're going to be under pressure for basically all game. You don't get these to sort of feel like, okay, well, at least this guy's sitting out on this play, because they got 3 of them. So really just a great situation for New Orleans, and that's part of the reason their defense has been so awesome. So yeah, I want to make a video on their defense just because everyone's talking about their offense. Even I made a video on Taysom Hill, but their defense has been awesome lately, and it's really because they've been healthy, and they're not even healthy because Lattimore is out. So just incredible. Great job by them. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.